as a queer woman, but very aggressively as a largely femme body occupying a very patriarchal space. So I have to consistently affirm my womanness, consistently affirm my queerness, consistently affirm my ability to be all of the things that I'm able to be, and making certain that these parts of me don't sort of try to negate that.
Voices of Women in Western Kenya works with the rural, lesbian, bisexual, trans and intersex persons in Western Kenya.
I work particularly on the law, and I'm a feminist human rights lawyer, and I try to use the law to create a better reality for Kenyans now and in the years to come. But within the LBQ space, I think I do my most work in convening, creating spaces for conversation, creating spaces for collective imagining, creating spaces for learning and for questioning and for journeying and for being radical about how we express ourselves as people, who express love as women who love women, and I think collectively design a future where we're present, we're validly present.
What I do and why I do it is because as a queer woman, there's been a lot of challenges that we're facing, and this including security and violations and discrimination, and it is because of that I chose this path to be able to assist and lead other queer women from within the region.
Basically, we fight for the rights of LBQ women, both health-wise, and also we look out for their security and economic empowerment, because for us as LBQ women, many are the times that we don't get employment like other people because of how we present.
Basically, what we do is to amplify the voices of the rural women who are not being heard, and due to a lot of stereotypes through culture and tradition, there's a lot of stigma and there's that fear of coming out from the rural person, LBQ person.
I do what I do because to me it's personal, and I would like for every LBQ person in Kenya to have a chance to just be who they are and access basic information and access services.
Is to deal with the LBQ ITGNC who are parents and also has family, and I'm so passionate to work with this group of people because these are the issues that have been put aside, because in most cases we deal with the issue of security, just me as a gender and person, but I have also kids who are also being affected. There are also kids also being stigmatized the same way I do. We also have these kids who are going to school in the public schools or other schools, they meet with other families, and at school they're being taught something different about family, which does not align with the kind of family that they're staying with. And so I'm passionate to do about this work because there's so many kids who are being raised by the gay parents, LBQ parents. People are co-parenting, there are those people who co-parent between the heterosexual and the homosexual, and still at the end of the day, what you call family depends with the individual. So since that our constitution is forcing us to say that family is all about man and woman, so we are also there to say that a family is also men or women. We also have single parents, and so that's why even in our work we, as Coast Women for Women, we advocate for family diversity.
Lesbian of Kenya is basically an LBQ-led human rights organization that works towards championing for socio-economic, health and legal rights for lesbian, bisexual and queer women. And one of the biggest challenges around LBQ organizing is probably the fact that LBQ's self-esteem has been really lowered by the much marginalization and stigma and discrimination going around. So having to get them to a point where we can organize is usually a very big challenge. All in all, I am still passionate about what I do because it is a lived reality. It is my life I live every day, so I am very, very passionate about it.
It's a self-anointed purpose in my life to change the space of queerness and imagine new ways to be queer in whatever discrimination or being criminalized as a homosexual looks like in where I was born. I feel it's a very difficult conversation to navigate, organizing and creating spaces of conversation of what gender and sexuality can multiply into or look like in freedom. I wish that everyone else who holds the space can hold the same love for themselves and kindness that we sometimes forget and leads to a lot of pain and burnout. I continuously struggle with what capitalism does to organizing and more importantly to what funding looks like in organizational mobilizing and selection of what programs we do. I remain hopeful though and very glad to see a new generation of activists coming on to sit in a space of better and bigger ideas than we ever had.
The challenges that we face mostly range from our security issues, the environment where we come from, the cultural practices and the laws or rules of the country. And also we have challenges in terms of organizing, the donor funding, just to mention but a few.
We get to be violated, and also the religion and culture of Kilifi being part of the coast region in Kenya, then there's a lot of culture and religion that tends to block the queer woman from being who she, he or they are as a person or individual. So I do this because of to be the voice of other queer women from the region and also get to create a space whereby queer women can feel comfortable being part of the society, and also that as queer women, what comes first is that we are women first, so our identity should not block who we are.
Yeah, and the work that we do there is to create a safe space for LBQ persons so that they can have a place where they can be empowered. And currently the challenge is there is no enough funding to do LBQ activities that can uplift LBQ persons. And my wish for the future is that we need more support to grow the LBQ movement and to create more visibility of LBQ. And also we want the world to know that as LBQ person, we are just normal people. Yeah, it's not like we are weird, we are just your family. Yeah, and we should be supported. Yeah.
Challenges that we go through, the challenges are the culture does not support that. The religion does not support that. The tradition these are something that were happening long time ago, but now as African we have refused to honor our tradition, which we have this in the Kikuyu culture that there's this a woman could marry the other woman and they stay as a family. But now when we are doing this, when this is coming up right now, we're being told that we're copied from the white culture.
Queer Hive is an organization for young LBQ women and gender non-conforming people, mostly between the ages of 18 and 24. And so why does Queer Hive exist? It's because we believe in the right of every individual to access free information on gender and sexuality, and also the right to produce and disseminate that information. And so basically the majority of our work is on knowledge production and research.
Hina Space organizes on disability and sexual and gender diversity, as well as religion, particularly Islam, and sexual and gender diversity. So we are also like creating visibility for queer disabled people, to be radical in their existence, to be visible, and also like to create conversations, what it means to be disabled and queer. and as well as looking at the place of a lesbian, of a queer Muslim woman. What does that look like for me as a lesbian Muslim woman, interacting with religion and existing in my full existence, basically. So we share information, we share stories through different ways. Yeah, basically that's what Hina Space does. For me, I just want to encourage LBQ women, LBQ persons, that there is a movement, like our existence and how we push back on systems of oppression, like that is a movement. And we as LBQ people organizing, we're really ready to support one another. And my wish is that in the future and now that our organizing looks very inclusive, that for me, I would want to go into a space and feel like my whole existence, like with my joy, with my anxieties, for example, with my disability, with my Islam, I fully exist within that space. And also to see that LBQ women work together and we create, most importantly, we create movements founded on love and care for each other.
The change I would wish to see is more support channeled towards LBQ organizing, for it to make a greater sense of well-being for LBQs, self-confidence and self-esteem for individual LBQs.
So my wish is just to have a society that accepts that there is family diversity and everyone is diverse. And so we can all live happily, and these things be also taught at school so that they know that there are different types of families.